Hi, it's Charles McCall again, and we're again having our Bible devotions, and we're just working our way through the book of 1 Timothy, and we're in 1 Timothy chapter 6. And in verse 6, the Apostle Paul says to Timothy, his son in the faith, now godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and clothing, with these things we shall be content. And so Paul talks about contentment. I talked a little bit about contentment in our last session. He goes on in verse 9, but those who desire to be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and then many foolish and harmful desires, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil, for which some have strayed from the faith in their greediness and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. The Apostle Paul is dealing with some pretty serious heart issues here. And he's dealing with somebody who has the desire to be rich. Very interesting, this word in the Greek New Testament means a very strong, passionate obsession to obtain money and possessions and the things of this world. Don't get me confused with platitudes of, oh, rich is having friends, rich is having love, rich is having... That's not what it's talking about here. Come on. It's talking about stuff that people desire to have, that you and I desire to have. And there seems to be no end to it. We have and we want more. We have a phone and we want a nicer phone. We have a car, we want a nicer car. And we want to keep accumulating more and more. And so it's talking about a snare for people who have a burning passion to get rich. And God gives us a very serious warning. Very interesting here. I was listening to one presentation on YouTube, and he was quoting an author and a speaker. I won't mention the guy's name, but he's quite well known amongst those who talk about gaining wealth and prosperity. He's not a Christian, but he said that for a person to be rich, they have to have a desire. Becoming rich and wealthy must be an obsession, and they must have a plan to get it. And it's backing those plans to get what you want without any fear or without any failure. An obsession, an all-consuming thought that I will not be complete, I will not be fulfilled until I have what I want. And I want it, I dream it, I wake up in the middle of the night and think about it, I wake up in the morning and I think about it, and I've got to have it, and I will do anything. Now, this is what the author is saying is the kind of desire that is necessary to get rich. This is exactly what God is saying is a problem when it comes to getting rich. Of having that kind of desire is not healthy. Now, let me say this. I know a lot of rich people who have lots of possessions, and some are Christians and some are not Christians, and many have been a great blessing. They've used their wealth, and I don't know how they've got it. I haven't inquired into that, but they got a lot of stuff, and they're very generous with it. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about people that I'm thinking of right now, and that you may be thinking of, who have sacrificed their moral values, who have sacrificed their friendships, who have sacrificed their integrity in order to get what they want. And again, I'm thinking of some friends, some Christian friends here in Cambodia and some that are outside of Cambodia. They've sacrificed the call of God on their life. They've sacrificed their friendship with others. They sacrificed their family. And so God is not saying don't get rich. And God is not saying there's a curse when you get rich. But what God is giving us a warning regarding our motives and our priorities. And so he says, but those who desire, have a strong desire, passion, I'm going to do it, they fall into many temptations. They fall into the temptation of lying, cheating, of walking in the gray areas, of dishonesty, They fall into the temptation of greed and using others to advance yourself. And they fall into the temptation of waste, of buying things that they really don't need, and selfishness. And they fall into the temptation of fear and worry of, what am I going to do with my riches? What if a thief comes? What if the stock market crashes? And so he goes on to say the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. So what the Apostle Paul is talking about here, as I said, he's not saying don't get rich. He's saying that you and I have to guard our hearts. This is the bottom line. Jesus himself said, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all of these things will be added to you. That's my advice for you. That's the advice that I try to follow. I'm not rich. However, if I'm asked some of the Cambodian people that I'm around right now, the people living in the shacks on the road down the street, they would say I'm filthy rich. But the important thing for you and I, put God first. Your relationship with him. Put the kingdom of God first. The things that are important to God, put them first in your life. And Jesus Christ himself said, he will give you whatever you need. We believe that he's faithful. We believe that is true.